All right, back for episode 22 of Tangy Talks. Victor Feria, good to see you, man.
Mr. Steve Turk, happy Friday. Happy Friday. Always exciting to be a part of this. And I think we got a really cool show coming up. So I'm excited to talk about some of these points.
I think so too. And, we were just talking about this backstage. I'm like old man tired here. I went out to dinner at 6 o'clock and ate too much food at night. I'm like sleepy. I need to wake up here little by little. But I'm ready. I got Biscayne coffee.
There you go.
You're
energized, man. Yeah, man. It's crazy. I know what you mean. I have a good little piece of steak a little too late at night, and I'll feel it all throughout the day, the next day. So I'm with you. But get some coffee, feel energized, and
feel good. Yeah, man. It was good. So if you're in Miami Beach, go check out Casa Faina. It's part of the Faina district. They've got a cool new restaurant there. Great chef. Who's really great at what he's doing. They haven't even announced the name yet, so I get to try like the secret menu, which I'm share an article with you about it. But pretty cool spot. So I'm excited about people checking out some local things. We always talk about the business, but if you're here in Miami Beach, we know the cool spots. So just let us know.
Let us know. Send you a direct message.
Yeah, we've got a lot going on. College football we're going to talk about, locks on homes, and also some, we always mix the politics in there to make sure people know to speak up and control their destiny and vacation rentals. But what are you excited about coming up?
I'm excited about so many things, and one of the things that I'm excited about is you just mentioned football is right around the corner. There's always like a little energy, right? Right when football, everybody gets started. College football is on Saturday and Sunday. With NFL, I just got my fantasy draft done last week. You've done fantasy before, right?
I've done fantasy. I'm not in one this year. I don't know why. Last year I was. I'm not in one this year. It's all right. Too much going on.
It is. It can get to a lot, but I'm excited. I have a really cool group that we do it every year, and we got together. A lot of people travel from other states for this, so we get really excited. And I picked my team, and it's the winner this year. I feel it.
Yeah, who's your running back?
So I got shoot, I'm drawing blanks. I had the 4th pick, and Christian McCaffrey didn't get picked on the first 2 rounds, so I snagged him. I think he's a great one.
Good one.
And then I got our boy Jalen Waddle from the Dolphins. Now I got something exciting to watch and cheer on for Jalen. So
he's always hurt, man. I don't know. Let's see.
Hurt.
Anyhow, enough of the football. I hope you win.
Thank you.
I have to do it with people who have kids, because the people who don't have kids are like ultra focused on it every day. So
I agree. I'll show you a little bit of kind of what I do, but I have a little cheat sheet book that I buy every year from Amazon, and it's like a whole percentage and formula, and I get into it a little bit, but it's pretty cool, and it's gotten me a 1st place and a 2nd place, so I'll take it.
Take it, man. Get your unfair advantage. Make it happen, dude. I like it. Well, we talk about football. Let's talk about college football and how it's affecting all of the short-term rentals and hospitality, especially in college towns. So in college towns, I went to Florida State, so I was in Tallahassee. And in Tallahassee, you don't think about it at the time. There was no nice hotels. There's a handful of hotels. There's like the DoubleTree that was there. Now they've had a couple others pop up since I've graduated, but really there's not enough hotel rooms to have everyone that comes into town. And those stadiums can hold up to 100,000 people.
Oh, yeah.
What is taken off is the Airbnb and vacation rentals. And Airbnb put out that there's seen 130% surge in Airbnb searches during the Labor Day weekend, and especially for college football. So amazing to see. And there were certain cities that really blew up. And Gainesville was the one that saw a 1,600% surge in bookings. And they're looking for amazing pools. Was that category in Gainesville. And then Tallahassee, I think, was only 130% surge. So I guess, we're pretty consistent because we've been pretty good. But they're looking for private rooms, not like the pool houses like in Gainesville.
That's strange.
I don't know.
That's strange, right? I mean, I wonder if that's like, college students getting ready to lock in their dorms, and they're just like looking around and probably just need a room for a couple of nights. That one's a strange one. I don't know how that one is related to college football, but interesting to see. And UF, man. Number 1, what's going on?
Listen, I guess, they got a lot of money going into Gainesville. It's a top school. I guess you graduate with a degree there. You got some more money to spend on the homes when you're there. But It's interesting to see and makes us kind of think like, when plays down here, like, again, I'm born and raised in Miami, but I never liked the Hurricanes. So sorry, Hurricane fans. I always did like the Seminoles, and I went to Tallahassee, Florida State. But the stadium is so far away, and you have a city that's filled with hotels, so it makes it a little bit easier. So it's interesting to see like these college towns. When you see this, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I've never been to any of these college towns. Like, one of my big regrets, I've never had to experience that. I know you did. I love I love of course. It's a local thing, but it's interesting to see, right? I mean, all of these college towns that get filled up and just have a lot of influx because of these games, and I wonder what it looks like for the rest of the year, right? I mean, if there's no game, how are those units performing throughout the other times? But it's interesting to see. We've seen it, with concerts and big events like that, and we have huge events down here too. So we know a little bit about that. But I'm excited. I know we always have big games down here. We got the what is it? It used to be Orange Bowl, but I think it's still Orange Bowl, right? That's like
they call it. I always call it Joe Robbie Stadium, and then Pro Player Stadium, and now Dolphin Stadium. I think is just Hard Rock Stadium.
Hard Rock.
You got homes around there, but no one's really staying in Miami Gardens.
Right.
Like that's the part that a true college town, you have the stadium right on the campus, so people just like kind of walk over. We have Pitbull Stadium now at FIU, so maybe that will help a little bit. I love seeing Mr. 305 get his name on the stadium.
Incredible.
But it just shows like there is a demand for like these small towns and cities that when they do have big events and you happen to be able to put your home up or your spare room, you can make some good money. But like you said, after graduation, that's another big holiday day that everyone goes to. Parents' weekend. There's sometimes around the sports is what drives the tourism.
Right.
You're in a major city, but I love seeing it. It's a cool stat. It just shows how powerful sports are, like how much money it drives. Right? So like you said, the NCAA wasn't allowing people to get paid or students not to get paid. So I'm all about those students because
there you
go see them play. That's what everyone's doing, to go watch a bunch of 18 to 22-year-olds play football. It's amazing that it is the center of the world for a lot of people. It's like a religion.
Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, I my brother-in-law, he also he went to UF. He's an alum, and he goes every year over there to visit, and he does this yearly. And he's not with my nephew. He goes with a son, and it's like a tradition, a family tradition. So it's just cool, how that pride, where people go into college and have that emotional attachment to the school and the team. So it's really cool and drives up hospitality and tourism. I'm all for it. But maybe those homes, probably be good for the hybrid model that we've been talking about, right? Through college season, it's up on Airbnb and generating high revenue. And then when it's not, 4, 5, 6 months through semesters, maybe that could be an option.
The teachers rent it out to other people that are staying on campus. But talking about them, I've never been back since I had kids, and maybe even longer. So I got to go back and take Sophia and Zachary to go see maybe Florida State, because that's when my wife went to Florida. I went to Florida State. They both know the Seminole chop and the Gator chop. So we'll see what happens. But I would need a home. I couldn't do a hotel.
Exactly.
So already. Maybe this is the
year. But you're active. You tell me that you get the emails and you try to help out and you do what you can.
Listen, Sigma Phi Epsilon fraternity. I helped them out. They built a brand new house. I can't stay there, but it's beautiful, and I haven't been back in a while. I would love to do that. So anyhow, if you're listening and you have a place for me in Florida State, let me know. Victor and I will bring the kids and families, and he'll get his first taste of like a college football game day.
I have to get this Miami boy over there to see the Florida State win a couple games.
I say there was never ever really fights except when Miami came to town. That's the problem, because all these kids would come up looking for fights from Miami. So
it's crazy. They're all under 21. I mean, I don't know why they're doing that. They shouldn't be.
That went to the school. So anyway, different time for that topic. Next topic here we're going to talk about is not the sexiest topic, but we've been talking about this a lot, and it just showed up. The Airbnb is pushing this as well. Is smart locks on doors for your homes. I think is very important. Victor, tell people why. Why is this important that they should have this? And if we are working with new owners, we are making sure they have the right locks. Why is it important?
Yeah, and this article is interesting because it's one of the first, right? And Yale partnered up with Airbnb, a first of its kind. So it's very exciting to see. We always recommend Yale. So Yale, if you're hearing this, sponsorship maybe, I don't know. Let's see.
But free shout out.
But so important, right? So important. I mean, we're always thinking about guest safety and their well-being and their experience while they're here, and having them feeling secure. You hear all these crazy stories of situations that occur in Airbnbs all around the world. So let's go ahead and invest that money, invest some money. I know it's not cheap, I know it's expensive. A Yale could run you 200 to 300 depending on which one you buy. But changing the codes after every guest, having an autonomous system. We used to do things manually. We would go into the system and change the Yale before there were systems in place. And there's user error, right? There's user error. We would think, we put these 4 codes. We would we would send them the check instructions. Oh my God, we missed a number. So super important to have it, autonomous, and to change the codes for every single guest and making them feel secure. And I think that's kind of what it bubbles down to, that security for guests. And I know, some owners probably still want to do the old school deadbolt and key situation, but who's to say a guest is not going and running to a Home Depot or a Lowe's and making copies and having free stays in the future. So something to definitely think about. And I'm excited to see how it works out with Airbnb. We have a bunch of Yale locks, and we'd love to see how that works and operates.
Yeah, the other part too to think about is who's going into the unit. So everyone has a different code. So I know which housekeeper was in there. I know what handyman was there, right? If there's an issue, we can say who was last in the house and when, right? We have timestamps of all these things so that we can make decisions and have proof, right? Because sometimes guests will say they leave at a certain time and then make a complaint or say that they did something else. And at least we have everything timestamped and have evidence of when people come and go. So again, it's not for everyone, right? I get some people don't want it, but it's a must-have for us moving forward. And there's a couple people that maybe need to listen to this of our owners. Let's make that change.
Send it to
them. Places, right? We'll clip this and send it off.
Super important. And you touched it, kind of going back to the hotels, is obviously where our roots are. And you're right, we would have on each door, you would be able to see who came in at what time. Each person has a different code. So you could, be very specific to exactly the person that came in and when this occurred or what situation that occurred. So it's very, very important. And Yale in itself, there's other companies outside, but Yale in itself is one of the better ones. I love the feature or the Yale lock with the actual manual key, which we don't give that manual key obviously to guests, but like always, technology and instruments don't work at times. Batteries, may die, whatever it may be. So having that backup key, at the property somewhere where the guest can go in and just use that emergency key, it'll be a big one. So that's a little tip for any listener. And then also another thing that we like doing is also using the last 4 digits of guest cell phone numbers. So, a guest won't forget that, that can be easier. So another little nugget there for anybody that's listening and could probably use that tip.
And if you're listening, you're completely new to all of this and you're happy to hear this for the first time, you can organize this all online, right? So you don't have to go to the door and change it manually there. You can do it through your PMS, and now Airbnb is coordinating. So you might be able, if you just want to do it by yourself in your 1 or 2 homes and you do everything on Airbnb, this is a great tool now. So you can coordinate all of that without having to do things manually. But make it safe, protect your property, use the right technology to help you. This is one of those things that you definitely should have on there. So, all right, Yale, we'll send you this. Make sure to send us some free locks. We'll test them out on a live here. Before we go to the next topic, we talk about a lot of different technology, right? And I think that there's a couple other things people should have. What are some other pieces that we recommend of technology that owners should have or property owners should have?
It's a good one. So, you definitely want to be able to have sensors in the property, especially like in those areas where are a little bit more sensitive to noise. We use Minute here in Tangy, which is a great tool to basically monitor decibels from guests if they're getting too loud or if they're having, parties, excessive noise. And it sends a message directly to them after certain amount of time letting them know, hey, we've picked up higher amounts of decibels, bring that down. Again, nothing new. I know a lot of people have that, as well as like a thermostat as well, that would be great for people to be able to control their AC remotely as well. I know some of the owners that the AC may be not the newest AC, and they want it, or they know that after a certain temperature, it can, especially in the summertime, it can, freeze. You could set up basically minimums where the guests won't go under that, and then you protect yourself from having a frozen AC and having to send AC technician over there. So those are also great tools. Then you go on the back end. That's in the property. Then you go on the back end, and obviously you need your property management software, which you talked about, your housekeeping software, your price optimization tools, all of these fun things that we offer, and it's something for you to definitely think about. Am I missing something?
No, I think you nailed some really good ones. And I think there's some basics, right? A ring camera out front, if you can, especially in the home, so you can see who's actually coming and going. Only in the front of the house, right? We don't want to creep people out. There's some homes that have them all over, and we got to tell them you can't have it like this. So cameras are good in the right places. Backyard, I'm here hit or miss on that one. Like if I have a pool, I don't want someone staring at me while I'm in the pool, but maybe on the back gates, so you can see like people aren't coming and going from the back gates and having a party. We just want to make sure we're good neighbors. So everything that we put in is to control parties, decibel levels, safety of guests. We want to make sure that we're good neighbors and we take care of the places that we're at.
Amazing. And make sure to announce it. Make sure to announce that you have cameras on the property. That's another one. Super important. And I know we talked about it in one of our podcasts.
Get in trouble
for sure. So it's make it part of your policy and part of your practice.
Yep, I like it. All right, so we're here in South Florida, and one of the nicer neighborhoods is Key Biscayne, right? It's its own little world right off of the mainland. You have to take a bridge to get over there. But Key Biscayne is cracking down on short-term rentals. So we keep hearing it. It's starting to kind of encroach on all major cities, and what they're doing is that they had a law in place already. And so the state of Florida said that, local governments can be grandfathered in with the rules that they have already in place. And so now Key Biscayne's had one in place, and they're going to start to enforce it. But what I thought was interesting was the name of their software. So they're using something called GovOps, which I have to make sure we research and check out after this. But they spent 20 grand on it, so they could scrape all of the vacation rental sites to see who is posting vacation rentals that are not properly set up or illegal. You can rent for 15 days or more in Key Biscayne, which is something I learned, which is new, which is good to know. Right. They're looking for everyone that's doing weekends, one-nighters, those kind of things, and fining them up to $20,000. So, make sure you know the rules. But what do you think about when you hear this line?
That stood out for me, the kind of what you just mentioned right now. That was a big takeaway. It's I could see, associations, I could see homeowners associations basically investing in this tool, right? To be able to see all of the units that are not legally, permitted to do that. So I could see, an assessment coming onto all these like communities and saying, hey, this is a tool that we must use. This is the cost for it. And other, communities utilizing it. And who's to say that, your local government isn't also utilizing that same tool. So it's pretty interesting to read. And that was kind of one of the big takeaways, similar to yours. But again, it's something new and something, we're seeing it progressing and progressing and progressing. So obviously everybody just stay ahead and know what's happening in your own community.
Yeah. And look, I think we're not telling you to do something illegally ever, but sometimes you buy a home, and we have a lot of owners that have been doing vacation rental before all this popped up, and now they're in zones where they're not allowed to. If you're being scraped and government is looking, you have to make sure you protect yourself or you change your model. And that's why we offer hybrid models now at Tangy, right? So like we have some people that were short-term. Now we go to long-term to help protect them. And like this kind of place is more midterms rentals. So if you can do 15 days or more, we could help do that as well. So you got to be flexible, I think, is the key now for a lot of people.
I love that. Yeah. And you hit there on another point, going into kind of our world and what we got going on. We're currently, and we've mentioned this before, we're currently looking at properties, specifically in the South Carolina area. And we're working with a great realtor and partners there to help us look for the right properties. And we found a great property immediately. A realtor partner basically said, hey, it's in a permitted city, but the community has an HOA. And to me, that was like, okay, as an investor, maybe that's not the right area, just because it is permitted right now in the city. But an HOA, they could go ahead and vote. You just invested into this property for short-term rental, but they could just go ahead and vote it out of the community. So we said, hey, let's stay away from any HOAs or communities, and that's again us as investors. And that was a point that I kind of wanted to make on that topic, so people know when they're looking for their investments, right?
Yeah, and even in the short-term rental buildings, we talked about this, not to give the whole story again, but you can listen to a last episode where we were working with the client, bought in a building where everyone told her it was okay to do her own vacation rental. It was part of a condo hotel, and the condo hotel set up really tough rules that they were the only one with a lodging license. And so if you did want to rent it out, you had to put it into that hotel pool, and they couldn't do it on their own. So even if you're being told certain things, get an attorney. I told this to my wife and my father, who are both attorneys, and they were both like, they didn't talk to attorneys. And I was like, no, they didn't know to. But now we will advise everybody, make sure you read those condo docs. Know sure how to protect yourselves from those kind of things, because you don't want to show up on closing day and then find out your plan has changed. But
exactly. So that's super interesting. But I think while we're on the topic of investment, you put out a really cool LinkedIn post yesterday that got a lot of attention, and we want to put it out into the world here too.
Yeah.
You want to hear some?
Yeah, put it out to the universe. And it's, I believe in this. The more you talk about something, one, it forces you to kind of chase that dream down, but the other, it lets other people know what's going on and how they can help. And if they feel like they're part of your journey, especially online, people tend to help. And so I would just put this out randomly. It wasn't even thought out. I just like, hey, my goal is to buy a boutique hotel and combine the best of what we know of luxury hotels and vacation rentals to make a great guest experience, but also make it operationally efficient so we make money. And I put that out there. And I said, if anyone wants to invest, let me know. And all of a sudden, thousands of people have viewed it. It's been shared multiple times. I've had people I don't know write to me saying, hey, I'm interested, in the DMs. Hey, if you need money, let me know. And it just started to kind of happen. And so leads now coming in from boutique hotels, and had dinner. I said, remember last night, there's an opportunity somewhere in that, which I can't share yet, but there's a lot of good things that happen if you put it out to the world. If you just keep it to yourself.
It's incredible. Yeah, it was incredible. See, I woke up this morning, I went on LinkedIn and I saw that I'm like 168 likes, 60 something comments. It was interesting. I was going through all the people that were interested. And like you said, there's people who are interested in investing. There's people that are interested in even working and being part of a project. So it's just cool when you put it out there, and see what comes back, right? And the more interesting part is, to other management companies, that are looking for, possible investments or possible, bringing on new properties. Sometimes you just have to make it yourself, right? Sometimes it's not necessarily it's going to come in and it's all a dream. Sometimes you have to make it and build it yourself.
I mean, that's where I was thinking about. I was like, now we're 200 people liking it. I'm looking at it right now, like 11,000 people have seen it. It's interesting. Incredible. So a little arena of people have seen this dream, and we're talking more about a dream because we've been chasing this down, right? So it's not a dream. Now we're putting action steps behind it, so it becomes real. And I just truly believe, and if you're listening out there, to our one listener, you in the car, if you have an idea, just start chasing it, because if you put it on paper with some due dates, it starts happening, right? We were talking about it yesterday, being a business owner versus being in a company. Like, you have to set goals for yourself. You have to put it in your calendar or it doesn't happen, right? Like, I'm writing a book, which I'll share with you all soon, because Victor Feria will be in the book. He's one of the 75 experts that will be in this book. But that was just an idea until it wasn't. And it started taking shape and getting people in it and writing it out. So I'm a big believer in that. I think I put it out there a lot. Like, the glamping, still going. I put it out there to the world and people still ask me about it, right? People are still thinking about it. I'm sure people ask you. It's just, if you got that idea, put it out there.
It's exciting, man. It's exciting. You're getting me motivated. Hope our one listener is pumped up in their car.
Yeah, share this episode with somebody. But sometimes it's funny because I write them and I'm like, what would Victor think about this? He's probably like, what the heck's happening here? We're buying a hotel. Let's go.
Let's go. I'm ready. It's we have it set, and I've talked about it before with you that you're the dreamer. We make it happen. You make it. You put it together. You put it in the dream, and we'll make sure it operates. So that's how we roll, and that's how we'll make it happen.
I love it. I think it's a great way to put it. And the other things that are going on in the world, it just shows me like we have to chase what we want to do, and I think we have a good vision. We've met a lot of people, right, and who have made big things, and then we talk to each other like, see, they're no different than us. Like we actually have more experience. We have the knowledge. Just go make it happen, right? I think I'm thinking of a few people in my mind that we've sat down with that have created amazing things, and they're doing awesome. We're the next in line. We're coming up.
There you go. And then and like we've talked, just keep being creative, being open. We've sent out a couple of messages and reached out to a couple of people that were been past partners of ours, or new, or people that we've seen their properties in the rental market for a really long time, and we're sending those people messages and saying, okay, your rental is beautiful, property is beautiful, it's been sitting for a couple of weeks now, why don't you think about this hybrid approach? I sent out a couple of messages just this morning, and as we were talking, a partner that we used to work with years ago sent us out an interesting message saying that he was just thinking about that because now we're coming up in the high season, and here in November, and he hasn't had any luck renting the property long term. So we're seeing a lot of changes here in the rental market, long-term rental market here in South Florida. So it's interested. I don't know where listeners are hearing from and what their current economic situation is as far as homes, but it's happening all around, right? And we're getting closer to election year. A lot of things are changing. A lot of people are on the fence and things of that nature, and so it's interesting to see how basically it all come out.
Yeah, man. Look, I think a lot of good things happening for us, and I just want to make sure people know. Keep chasing it. It's going to happen. We keep putting in the effort. It will pay off. It may not feel that way as you're going through some tough times, but you'll get there. And I heard a quote that I shared with you yesterday.
Yeah, sure.
Let me make sure my memory remembers this as I'm tired here. Is, bad times make strong people, and weak people make bad times. And so if you can get through those challenging times, you become one of those strong people, and you will thrive when what's going on. I think a lot of people right now I talk to are having some challenges, some struggles in their world, especially in work or in their company. Just keep your head down, keep grinding, and focus on what you can control, and you'll become much stronger for it. So I know that that's the message a lot of people need to hear now.
That's the way we see it here, and I love that you shared that. You told me another interesting, which I went back to, and I'm like, man, he's so right about that. And basically, when there are tougher times, and they're especially within a team or within operations, you become closer as a team, right? When you get through that, when you get through those difficult times or those difficult hurdles. When you see the other side of it, it's like you look around at the room and see who you're with and who just pulled through with those tough times, and you're saying like, wow, we just went through that. We did this together. It was not me. It was not you individually. That was all of us, and that bond is created, and it just, like you said, it makes people stronger. So I love that.
I love it, man. I think we left with some positivity today. We got some Tony Robbins going on here. We're walking through the fire.
There you
go. But yeah, hopefully you guys some good information out of today. We want to make sure that if you're going to college football towns, start booking your places way early.
Oh yeah,
it got me motivated just to get to one of these games this year. I want to go feel that vibe again. Make sure to get your Yale locks. Shout out to Yale, the best in the game, and understand your local laws and regulations of wherever you're getting your homes. And if you happen to be in Key Biscayne and you want to talk to us, let us know. We'll walk you through how we can help you. And if you found any value in this show, make sure to share it with somebody, forward it on to them, give us a like. We would love that and appreciate it. And Victor, anything to say until next week?
I love the show. I'll see you all next week, and we can't wait to hear more.